Hey, somebody's got to change the oil on the lawnmower. You did? Haha, excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to the Professional Noticer.
Welcome, welcome, welcome!
Here, you and I will use common sense and all the wisdom we can muster to move beyond what is true and go all the way to the truth, creating measurable results for people like you and families like yours. I am the Professional Noticer.
Maybe we can work this out, just you and me, no?
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Hey, thank you for making me a part of your week. While our topics might seem to vary wildly, it's really because the things you care about most are sometimes affected by the things you care about least. So we talk about everything. We field questions about business and spiritual issues and popular culture, and occasionally we tackle the odd conundrum like knowing there is a long-time successful product called Preparation H. What happened to preparations A through G? My purpose here today and with every show we do is to play the part of a best friend or coach. I want to help you live the life you would live if all your toughest questions were answered. The Professional Noticer is sponsored this week by Ray Norman Sound Design at raynorman.com. Let me tell you something. Ray Norman is a friend of mine and one of the most talented people I have ever known. Ray Norman has spent decades in studios and in front of microphones. He produces music and designs sound for advertising, multimedia, and recording artists. Ray is the voice you've heard thousands of times on radio and television, and he continues to voice commercials and documentaries and corporate videos. He's not only an award-winning voice and sound, the one behind many brands, he's a gifted writer, brilliant composer, and in addition, Ray's also a very funny guy. I'm just telling you. Direct studio sessions live from wherever you are. If you want a radio spot and you need it for Iowa, or you live in Iowa, Ray can do it now. Or you're in Arizona or Alaska, Ray can provide what you need on your schedules. raynorman.com. Check out the website. It is very interesting. Listen to the different vocal styles he offers. Let your imagination wander. How might you use the voice of the best guy in the business to give your office or your business a little more panache? Ray Norman can do your commercials. He can be the voice for your office phone system. He can even produce a magical birthday or anniversary or holiday greeting audio or video complete with original music. And it's not as expensive as you might think. So go to raynorman.com and be sure to leave a comment and tell Ray that I said hello. Say, Andy says hi. That's raynorman.com. All right, guess what? The Professional Noticer now has actual, real listeners in 77 countries. This week we added Hong Kong. Wow. Hey, Hong Kong. Observations and answers are what we do here, so come on in, be a part of what we're doing. I deliver the observations, and you provide the questions. These questions are a critical component of the person you and I aspire to become, and nobody should be embarrassed to ask a question. Come on. We're gonna have a great time with this, and we would love to field a question from you, whoever you are, wherever on the planet you are. Either write us, email is theprofessionalnoticer@andyandrews.com, or call 1-800-726-ANDY, 1-800-726-ANDY. And listen, if we use your question, the Professional Noticer, that's me, will send you your choice of the guided traveler experience. It's over 8 hours of live video seminar I did in Orlando at SeaWorld and some other cool places. Or you could choose 100-Year Parenting. This is a collection of 53 videos, each between like 10 and 20 minutes. And this is life-changing stuff, but it's very fun, very funny. And a lot of football teams, and churches, and organizations use this because peace at home means prosperity at work. So here we go. Always remember, the quality of your answers can only be determined by the quality of your questions. And this week, our first question is from Patrick. He's from Texas. Let's listen.
Hey, Andy. This is Patrick from Texas. I would love to hear you talk about how you do what you do without getting involved in politics. How do you put yourself out there when you know what you're writing is opinion-based work? Is this a choice you have made intentionally? Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Patrick. Thank you for the question. I hate to brace you like right away, dude, but you're saying writing is opinion-based work? Not always. I mean, I understand that a lot of writing is opinion-based work, but it's not always. It's a great question, and I'm glad, you're pretty sharp, Patrick, to notice that I don't really get involved. You know what? I don't know that I don't get involved. I think I get involved. It's just that I don't show a side. And it's because I have already chosen my side, and my side doesn't have anything to do with labels people would put on a certain thing. And it's why I said really from the beginning that writing is opinion-based work for some people. But honestly, I don't think it is for me. I don't consider it opinion-based work because for the most part, I am writing about attempting to explain, digging deeper on principles. Now, occasionally, I will, in my writing, I will have an opinion. And I will say, I can remember several times that I have written, okay, this is just an opinion, but because I want people to understand when I'm just, kind of riffing off the top of my head. I want people to understand when, hey, this is just my opinion. But what I'm really after, what I am really after, I say at the first of this podcast that I want to be your coach. I want to be like a best friend and helping you find that best way to live your life. And so what I'm really after is the best. I'm after in my life, in my family's life, in your life, Patrick. You and I are connected through this podcast. We haven't shaken hands or hugged necks or anything like that yet, but we are connected. And my goal for you, my purpose in doing what I do is that you find your way to the best. And so when you say, how do I do what I do without getting involved in politics? I remember several things that I have written and several things that I've talked about that were about politics. But I think that, or I'm sure, when I did those things, that it was principle based. I want to get to the bottom of the pool about certain or about every issue, actually. Now, I didn't mean to reference the bottom of the pool, but this is the best way I can explain it. And so I'm just, I have a book that is coming out June 18th, and it's named The Bottom of the Pool. You can pre-order it right now, but it explains in there how I get to the foundation of something, how I search for the foundation for, we're not looking, when we talk about getting to the foundation of stuff, Patrick, and whether it's with what's going on with our nation or with what's going on with our state or our local government or our families or our neighborhoods, we're not after an answer. We're after the answer. We're not trying to go good to great. We're trying to go good to great to best. We want to be everybody else. The vast majority of people, their government, with whatever government they have, with whatever government they support, with their families, whatever it is, the vast majority of people stop at great. They're fine with great. They stop because great is the answer. Great is usually better than everybody else. But very few people push on to best, or even, search for the existence of best. But, when I do talk about politics or about what's going on in that world, the way I talk about it or the way I write about it is to explain what is really going on, what the stakes are, what is really going to happen. And I feel like I can do that without saying a person's name, without saying a political party, because nobody thinks about it, but I am, with this book, The Bottom of the Pool, I am intending that people start thinking about it, and what I'm talking about them thinking about. Nobody thinks about it, but everybody wants the best, don't they? And we say there's nothing anybody agrees on anymore, that we're getting farther and farther apart, that people are just more and more. Okay, well, there is something we agree on. If I went and asked a Republican mom and dad, do you want the best for your children? What do you think they would say? Okay, so then if I went and asked a Democrat mom and dad, and I said, do you want the best for your children? What do you think they'd say? If I ask a Christian mom and dad, do you want the best for your children? A Muslim mom and dad, do you want a non-Christian mom? Do you want a Jewish mom? Do you want the best for a Hindu? Do you want the best for? If I ask somebody from the South, do you want the best for your church? Somebody from the North, the West, from Canada, do you want the best for your children? What do you think everybody says? Okay, everybody says yes, but the thing that most of us never consider is that whatever that is one thing. The best is one thing. Now I know people can say, well, what's best for my family might not be best for you. Okay, I'm not talking about, what's best in a situation or what's best for this year. I'm talking about an overall, what is best? Wouldn't we like to climb that mountain? Wouldn't we like to go to the bottom of the pool on that? What do we have in common? We want the best for our children. We want the best for our families. That can be a beginning, but again, most people don't know there is anything past great. But great is on the surface of the pool. A lot of people accomplish great. Very few people get to best. So yeah, this is a choice, Patrick, that I've made intentionally to not. I want to explain carefully, but I have to learn. I have to search. I have to make sure that where I'm leading is the proper way. So I lead maybe it's a little slower than some other people that you might think do the same thing that I do, or you might think that I do the same thing they do. I want a big tent. I think there will be people who they'll disqualify themselves because they just absolutely will not come inside. Okay, but I think for us to take half the chairs out of the tent and say, you're not invited, I think is counterproductive to our future, to our children's future. And so I want to explore carefully. I want to be kind. And I think we can find that. I really do. Thank you for the question. Not really sure I answered it, but I appreciate the question, Patrick. Take care, buddy. I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, harnessing common sense and wisdom to plow through challenges all the way to an answer for you. Our next question is from Gail. She's from Colorado. Let's listen.
Hi, Andy. My name is Gail. I live in Colorado Springs, and I love your program and your book. I just had a quick question for you. I'm a senior citizen, but me and a couple friends have noticed people don't listen anymore. Everyone wants to talk. They talk at you, but no one talks with you. And we're noticing it, and it's kind of a sad trend. People seem self-absorbed, and a few of us have noticed that you can talk to people for an hour, and they won't even ask anything about how are you. They just talk at you. And I was just wondering if you're noticing that, and if it's a trend that is happening throughout the country. Is it just us old people that notice it, or is it a trend at all? I would just like your opinion on it, and what we all can do. My friends and I make efforts to be good listeners, and we were wondering, but we do want people to care about us too. That's part of a friendship. So just wondering what you think. Thanks. Love ya. Bye.
Hi, Gail. Thanks for the question. You sound like an awesome person. And Colorado Springs, man, what an awesome place. I've been there several times. I've got some buddies who live there, actually. And I love that Red Rocks area. That's just incredible. Beautiful place. Thank you for the kind words. And I understand what you're saying. Totally understand what you're saying. But there is one thing that I want to correct you on something. Okay, can I correct you on something? You say that people seem self-absorbed. Can I correct that? Gail, people don't seem self-absorbed. They are self-absorbed. People today, it is, you're right. This is a trend. You ask, am I noticing the trend? No, I'm being overwhelmed. I'm being overrun by the trend. People are self-absorbed. That is what they want to talk about, is themselves. Now, here's a curious thing. I'm going to skip, because you're right. People do talk at you. Nobody really talks with you. This is curious to me. You wonder if it's just old people who notice it. And you also say you're noticing this is kind of a sad trend. Now, I want you to think about something. I want you to think about it carefully here. And I don't want you to be mad when I say this. But he says kind of a sad trend, and you're noticing this now. And is it just old people who notice it? See, I don't want you to be aggravated when I ask you this question, but Gail, why do you think you are just noticing this? I believe this has been going on for a long time. I don't know that it's a trend so much as it is a consistent condition of life on this planet. And so I wonder if you have ever considered why you're just noticing this now. Is it possible that as you have slowed down your life a little bit, you say you're a senior citizen, I'm imagining that you probably are not working full time, that you're volunteering. Now I'm just imagining this, okay, that you're volunteering, that you and your friends are getting together and helping people in different areas. Okay, you have a little more time. You're noticing a little more stuff going on here. And so the people you're noticing might be in the same position that you were in 10 years ago. And so I wonder if this is just curious, I wonder if the older people 10 years ago wondered that about you and your friends. It's just a thought. But I'll tell you this, I think you and your friends are doing some awesome work noticing this, because you can help so many people because you have noticed this. And you say, that people won't ask anything about how are you, and you make efforts to be good listeners. Here's what I want you to make your biggest effort at. You are already probably great listeners. Here's what I want you to make a great effort at. I want you to make your consistent effort and a huge effort at this point in your life in being a good questioner. I want you to ask good questions. Do you know how much of your wisdom, Gail, that our world needs today? Do you know how much our world needs the wisdom from you and your friends? Now, you're right. If you go stand out there in the middle of the town square and say, older people have wisdom, do you not know this? Would you not slow down and shut up long enough just to hear the wisdom that, they're not going to. But you can get people thinking with questions, and you can disseminate wisdom with your questions, because as you lead their thinking. Now, I don't know what your questions are going to be. Sometimes the question might be, why is that? And a lot of times, they might come back and say, well, that's just kind of the way it is. Okay, but here's what I'm asking. Why is that the way it is? See, you can go to the bottom of the pool with questions. You can ask questions that'll get people thinking, and they will get to a point that they'll turn around and they'll say to you, what would you do? Well, what do you think? And because you could throw in a little thing, or you just throw in a little thing as they're talking. I'm interested in this, and I understand this because this very same situation existed in my family a few years ago. So keep going, keep talking. I mean, keep them talking. You're a great listener. You're a great conversationalist and would like to be. So ask good questions. You will use the wisdom you have gathered through the years, and people will listen carefully when talking about one subject, and that is them. Now, you want them to ask anything about how are you? It'll happen. But prove your value. You have massive value. Prove it. Don't get your feelings hurt. That's just the way people are. And so start to ask questions. Put a smile on your face. Have that kind of little sly look in your eyes. I know something you don't know. Because you do, Gail. You know something we don't know. But man, most of us are so consumed with what we're doing and what we're trying to do and what we want to have happen and what we're afraid might, that it's hard to slow down and listen. Unless somebody slaps us in the face with a funny question or a relevant question or something like that. So Gail, you can do this. I'm counting on you to do it. I would love to hear the results of any of this. So keep up with us, okay? Thanks, Gail, very much. Well, I think that'll do it for this week. Get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing the mental energy I have, that tiny bit, just for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, smile while you talk, shake hands with the kids you meet, and make sure you have an answer to the question my mother asked so many years ago: how is it possible that a brown cow eats green grass under a blue sky and gives white milk? And so, until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limpert. The Noticer theme written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Jet skis provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by SaveThePenny.org. SaveThePenny.org is an association of like-minded folk with nothing better to do than attempt to save a coin with which one can now buy nothing at all. Yes, in 1913, a penny bought what it takes a quarter to buy today. Despite its inability to purchase even a gumball, the penny, at 2.5 grams, weighs more than a dime. SaveThePenny.org appears to ignore the fact that producing the penny actually cost money and adds to the national debt. In 2017, the penny cost 1.82 cents to make and distribute. Last year, the U.S. Mint made 8.426 billion pennies, costing taxpayers $68.8 million. SaveThePenny.org.